Hello, welcome back. My name is Vasco, and today I'm going to talk about HFA, or High Functioning Autism, and why I think that distinction is, well, important and not important at the same time, because HFA is widely used when it comes to thesis and papers, academic ones at the very least, because as most of you know, autism is divided into at least those two categories, which is low and high functioning autism, because high functioning is where you find, for example, Asperger, and which I have. Because you don't have Asperger, you have autism, but they have that distinction there, because some of the things with autism is very physical, some are non-physical, and so are kind of hard to see. The invisible side of things are very annoying, especially with everything that has to do with psychological illnesses, or mental illness, sorry, and challenges, because if you can't see it, it's just like, oh, I didn't know you had that. Do you have it? Yeah, I'm not just saying it to seem cool. I'm not an idiot. Why would you even say that you have autism if you don't? That doesn't make any bloody sense. Do you want extra stigma in your life? Sure. Don't do it. It's not how things work. If you don't struggle with something, don't say that you have it, because that just annoys the hell out of everyone, basically. And also, if you get caught, you will, no, don't. Just stop it. Stop it. Now. Anyway, when it comes to HFA, there's a lot of papers on it, and the problem with the distinction of HFA and normal autism is that there are some with Asperger that feels like they are superior to those who just have autism. Just have autism. That's a very bad way of saying it, but you know what I mean. And so that distinction is bad in that regard. At the same time, there are people who has Asperger and feels like they need that distinction just to, well, not have all that baggage with it. And I can see it, but it's a far-fetched argument. Like, to an employer, just, is there anything I should know? And me, as very forthcoming, I have autism. And for a lot of bosses out there, it's just like, warning, warning. They don't ask a following up question to that, just, okay, so what do you struggle with? They rarely do. What they rather do is just, okay, not our candidate. Because people are assholes. And we know it. We have struggled with this our entire life. And that is the one thing that people rarely get. When it comes to autism, that's something you're born with. That applies with Tourette's, ADHD, and a lot of other or mental illnesses and genetic ones, especially because you can have a very mild version, but it's still have it, and there's a lot of things that most people don't see. For example, when it comes to Tourette's, you don't always have the tick that makes you go off and say everything that's on your mind all the time, or curse, or you get the general idea. The coprolali aspect of things, and basically about 10% of those with Tourette's have it, so that is, well, in layman's terms, that's about 1 in 1,000 who has just that. And then it's 1 in 2,000 who has that plus ADHD. Just to take that into context. I did the math on things here. And here in Norway, you have a percentage of the population who has Tourette's. 50% of those have ADHD. That's 0.5%. 1% of the population have autism. And here's a problem. normally in mathematics you can easily work out a solution to who has what or what is the odds. When it comes to these, if you have one of them, you have a position to get the rest of them, because they come in packs of 3 at the same time. So that is very fun. Yay! And while attending my course the other day, I just realized, oh bloody hell, I have the lottery when it comes to mental diseases here. Shit. Autism, Asperger, autism, Tourette's, ADHD, anxiety, depression, very much fun, OCD, because that works very similar to my Tourette, and of course phobias. The odds are very not on my side, it seems, and I think that's hilarious because try to get that up into a statistical possibility, is very hard, because since I have Tourette, the odds for me for having autism is higher than if I didn't. Also, I have had about 50% chance of having ADHD if I have Tourette. So, what came first? The chicken or the egg? The Tourette, ADHD, or the autism? I have no idea. And that is one of the issues with these things, that, of course, some things may cool down when you grow up, or as you grow up, because you get used to it, you find techniques that works for you, or get medications. Although, here's one little thing, you don't develop these things. You have them or you don't. The degree of them may vary from person to person, or just in the course of a lifetime. They may vary a lot, from non-existent or nearly non-existent to full-fledged, or maximum power, really. And so, no matter what you do, you don't get rid of them. Like, I was born with a brain damage. It's not like I can just fix. Yay! Oh, for fuck's sake, I shouldn't have done that. And so, that is one of the most absurd things on this planet. Well, why? Have you tried not having it? No. Okay, let me just fix brain damage, fix up my melatonin levels, and do something about my brain when it comes to the autism part of it. Let me become normal. Normie. And at the same time, let's just fix that phobia, anxiety, and depression. Yay! How many light years do you have to do that? And so, the problem with all these things is that, what is the cause? Which is why I'm reading papers up, down, left and right these days, just to figure that out. And at the same time trying to figure out, okay, what are the positive sides of this? Well, if I want to have some really fun in this world, by the time I'm 30, if I have no idea what I'm going to do with my life, I'm probably just going to be a priest, or a preacher, really, and sell some popcorn in the local church, because that would be hilarious. Just think about that, and I hope that you'll have a good time. Amen. Go to hell! Whoops. That could be hilarious. That's just a sliver of a dream, just on pure hell, because to be a priest, you have to go through 6 years of university here. 5-6 years. I think it's 5 plus a year, to learn it properly. And then just to get fired on the first day and never to return. That seems like it's worth it, isn't it? But when it comes to HFA, and should you use it, should you not? Because I'm very good at sidetracking myself, and yeah, you know it. Vasco, the king of digressions. Anyway, when it comes to these things, it's very hard, because of course there are negative sides. There are also positive, because it's easier for those who have it to relate to that group than to try to relate to the entire spectrum, which is virtually impossible, because the spectrum is so bloody wide. And, okay, think of it this way. If you have autism, you can have, let's say that you have an entire dictionary full of words. Some may apply to you, a lot don't. Because your autism doesn't necessarily work like the other ones. Because you don't, it's not like a normal, well, illness in the regard that, okay, you need to have all these symptoms because there are so many things that can link to autism. Except one thing, vaccines, just to have that said, done. And so if, let's say you have a dictionary of 1,000 words, just a very small dictionary, but fair enough, and you find 5, and okay, those 5 are enough. That means that there are 995 ways you're different. And the combination of those are vast. There are very many combinations. Just like in a normal set of cards, of 52 cards, in that little deck, it's so many possibilities that even if you outsource it to 1,000 people, they would use so many years of continuously shuffling those cards. Yeah. And that's with 52. Here's 1,000 times 999 times 998 and so on. So you have a lot of combinations. Of course, some combinations are more general, some are more specific. And so that is the hard part, that you have often to explain what you deal with. And for me, who was diagnosed, I would say fairly late, since I was 23 when I was diagnosed. And I always had a problem, because I was diagnosed at the age of 5 with, what do you call it in English again? That was just a mental development problem. That's it. That's it. I'm slow, sure. Okay. Fine. Can you be a bit more specific what I struggle with? Yeah, he has... My report said that, okay, he has an advanced vocabulary skills, but very poor social skills. Okay, anything else? Anything? No, okay. I went to a shrink for 12 years. She only knew about the Tourette and didn't check further into ADHD, autism, or any other things. You think I'm a bit mad at her right now? Because for 12 years I could have had some help. I didn't. But okay, let's take it from where we are now. And so with HFA, there are so many things that are wrong with it, but for some that distinction can help. So, and now that Asperger is more commonly going to be used as autism spectrum disorder, or Ada. Hi Ada. How are Resident Evil? Yeah, sorry. That was a very short digression, but I could have gone on for way too long. Anyway, when it comes to ADA, that is going to be called, that is also a very weird distinction, because you got autism and autism spectre, and you got now Asperger syndrome, which is going to be called autism. Yeah, that disorder. ASD. How is that a disorder with so many different combinations? Well, I'm going to try to read up on that again. Because I've only read about 15 articles out of 850,000 in English so far. And that's just a thesis alone, not mentioning all the articles and papers. This is going to take some coffee. Because you guys know I'm going to need that. Even with Death Wish coffee, I need a mug that's the size of Mount Everest to get through all that. And I read fast. But when it comes to just my final piece on this HFA is that, okay, I know that some people are assholes and they enjoy being superior to others. Don't do it with mental health. Don't do it at all, please. Write to yourself just like, haha, I beat the game faster than I did last time, that's fine. But if someone beat the game in, let's say, 12 hours, even if you beat it in 1, don't say it right out of their faces like, haha, I'm 12 times better at this game than you are. No. We played it very differently. You speedrun it, I just played it for fun. And also, I don't bloody care. Sure, when I ran through, for example, Cuphead, I was very... Yeah, I felt a bit superior to some people. But I didn't say that up to their face, just like... I try not to be a jerk. I'm not subtle at all, but I'm trying not to be a jerk. That happens from time to time, but that's mostly a comment or something like, oh, you should say that. Okay, fine, then let's say it. Because that is the invisible part of things. That is partly OCD and partly Tourette. Just great combination. If mental illness was Infinity Stones, I would have had enough now to, well, dismantle a bit of the universe. That would have been fun. Just reality change and time change. Woohoo! At the same time, I do realize that, well, different people show us different things. And that is basically, I don't know how to put it mildly, but I get it. People are different. And that is very annoying for some of us with autism. Just like, okay, I have now written down mentally every single reaction I've had on that person. And now I have to scrap that and toss it aside for this one. God, why can't we be all the same? Why do you speak in a different context? Why do you put pressures on words and me having to deduce what the hell you just said? Why don't just put it out there? That's how I work. Just put it straight out there. Be rude to me, I don't care. What some people call rude, I call direct. And I like the directness of things. If I feel something is wrong, I'm just going to say it. Maybe going to just... Is this maybe a good idea? I don't know. So it's going to be fun on Monday. You're on a date. Yay! With a non-autistic person. Oh shit. That's going to be interesting. Bring popcorn. Enjoy the cringe. Because... Shit. I am not... I'm squarified. Squeak! And terrified to that. Anyway. Back to this thing because I keep digressing and I don't like that. Basically. As far as I can tell so far with all the reports I've read is that you have to be able to... The earlier you can get a diagnosis, the more help you can give the person or give the student or pupil what age they are. You are going to try and prepare them for real life as much as possible. The real life beyond studying, beyond work. Just try and be part of the community or the society in general. That's very important. You do not want to try and just protect them too much. They're not that fragile. But you have to make sure that, okay, it's okay to get a few bruises. That is how they're supposed to go. You don't want your kid to go around padded. They are going to get themselves hurt from time to time. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. That is how it's supposed to be. And I get that you want to protect them, but if you, for some reason, don't want to admit that your kid might be autistic or have those tendencies, toss that pride aside immediately. Because if a teacher or more commonly a psychologist tells you that, your kid has some autistic tendencies, go check that out. And don't think that your kid is any less worth now than they were before. They are the same kid. They just have a bit of issues here and there. They have some challenges. And they are brilliant in what they want to do. And that is one thing that annoys me the most. When parents say that, okay, my kid, no, they don't have any problems. Of course they don't. If they're autistic or not, they don't have any problems. They have maybe a minor deficiencies in the social department. So what? We can make up for that. Just do it in a bit different manner. Same with, okay, my kid isn't doing the best in, let's say, mathematics. Okay, have you tried approaching it in a different way? If they have problems learning in that environment, let's try combining that with another thing, and so on and so forth, until we find something that works. You don't just try one method or think one way and just, oh, that didn't work out. Better just stop it, or just go through it, it's fine. I lost 2 years of math because of that. Because I couldn't grasp how geometry worked. Because I just didn't understand it. Until we had an arts class in 10th grade. I was 2 years behind math at that point and caught up in a matter of months. Because it clicked. Just, what the? Okay, that is different. So that's how you make those shapes and that's how it works. Okay, that makes no fucking sense. So, just a little bit of other inputs, and that was plentiful for me to understand everything I missed. Because learning it in one way and approaching things in just that manner isn't always working. That's the same in real life, and that is something that we all have to learn at some point. That maybe the method of me headbutting that wall behind me isn't going to work. Maybe you have to go around it. Same goes with parents. If your kid struggles with something, okay, you can either spend a lot of time pushing through it, or you can find a different method of approaching it. You don't need to run into King's Cross. If you're uncertain, just wait until someone goes through first and then you can try. Just approach it from a different method. That is basically what I want to say with everything. If someone is being a jerk, okay, so fucking what? Let them be a jerk or tell them off. I don't know what they did. Maybe they were just a fool. Maybe they're okay. I don't know. Just think about it first. When it comes to HFA, okay? That is a problematic situation. I don't have a good answer to it. I see that for some people it works, and I don't really know. To be perfectly honest, I don't know the answer yet. I'm still going to try and find an answer, but it's hard. These are some situations that are very difficult for a lot of people. And so, I'm sorry, I don't have any good answers when it comes to this, but I can give you some pinpoints and come with examples of when it works and when it doesn't work, and you have to take that, well, make your own decision about it. Does it work, doesn't it? What works, what doesn't? And I made a joke on Twitter the other day about autism and Asperger, because I feel that's right, because when it comes to autism, okay, you have a lot of the spectrum. And then you got Asperger part, which is Asperger, no added sugar. Just because that's a light version of it. For a lot of people, they think it's the light version. And if you categorize it with HFA, sure it is, because it's high functioning, which means that the rest is slow functioning, which means that this thing is just completely bullshit. So yes, sure. I'm light version, and I weigh about 210 pounds. That's fine. And the entire thing is absurd. And yes, there are problems with it, but I'm not going to tell you if it's good or bad, because frankly, for some people it works, for some it doesn't. So, make up your own meaning. Because I'm just going to keep on reading until I find a good enough answer to answer most or all my questions about it. And to prove one side mostly right, or academically right. We'll figure it out. Anyway, sorry for babbling on and on, but that's it for me, Vasco, today. Bye bye.